Welcome. Here's a story of transformation. It's my own experience, and it happened a few years ago when I was learning Psyche. And in the workshop, we were supposed to come up with something. Hey, what's something you would like to change? All right. And then this young lady was learning how to facilitate a balance. And so, what would you like to change, Henrik? Well, me growing up in a rural agriculture community, let's say it like this: we're not taught to cry. I'm sure you know what I mean, okay? And so, well, didn't really think of it as a problem per se, but intellectually, sure, I could see that this is some kind of limitation, right? So why not be able to, let's say, express your emotions, cry if you want to or need to, and so yeah, I came up with this statement that it's okay to cry. Test weak. So let's change that, all right? We started the process, and wow, did we hit bullseye on something that had been accumulating or was really piled up or what? Because never ever in all of my other balances till this day have I had an experience similar where my whole jaw became so tight I was biting my teeth. I was barely able to breathe. I was sweating. It was like so the the resistance on the subconscious level to that one. Whoa, boy. And so it was so painful, it was so uncomfortable. I was asking this young lady if she couldn't stop the process. We actually do have a way of pausing and continuing later if needed. But luckily, I would say she couldn't remember how to do that. And so before she found the instructor, the process had now advanced so much that I, let's say, prefer to go through with it. And we'll get to this point in a moment. But all of that resistance felt like it was never ending. It was just continuing and going on and no release. I don't know if that maybe took 10 minutes, I think at least, maybe 15. Um, and then within, I think, 30 seconds or so, the whole thing lifted. And when that last drop of resistance, you could say, or pain or discomfort, that last drop was gone, it was amazing. The relief, the change, and boy, was I like walking so lightly. I didn't feel like I was touching the ground. That was the sensation after that balance. And I would like to share this story because in all of my years as a facilitator, I've never had any kind of similar response. We never know what's going to happen in a session, but hear me out here that before we do any balance, we always check if it is safe and appropriate to go through with this process. And let's say God, universe, source will guide us in letting us know if it is safe and appropriate. And if so, it means that we do have the capacity to go through with that process, which normally is a lot shorter and less painful. Um, and what I'm trying to get through here is that trusting the process is huge, okay? And also that when you are in the process, at times it's like you have no idea that this is about to end. I sometimes describe this like imagine you have a pot of water, okay? And the water is representing the discomfort or the trauma or the resistance, etc. And imagine you now have a spoon and emptying the pot of water. The thing is that we don't know how big is the pot with water, right? And we don't know the size of the spoon, okay? And so for some people, this is rather easy, takes no time, and for others, the process is a bit longer. the thing is that as long as there's water there, it means that there's resistance. And so we can't really sense it, I think, in most cases, until that last drop is gone, all right? And that's where most people describe this as, wow, a relief, okay? And so if you dare to go through a process of facing whatever trauma that we may be surprised is bigger or smaller than what we think, okay, trust that process, because you have the possibility, you have the capability to empty that pot of water. Absolutely. And you're not in this alone. I know what it's like. So check in with yourself. Is it time to face whatever that's been accumulating in your life? Well, I'll be so proud if you would allow me to be at your side for that process of releasing all of that. That's what we are here for. And should you feel inspired, please reach out. Wishing you all a beautiful day.